Welcome to Beyond the Stockroom, where we will be exploring the vast career opportunities that exist beyond the stockroom. What happens when a product is out of stock? That's where we come in. Hey everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Stockroom. We have decided to take a little break from our interviews and recap some of the awesome stuff that has come out of them, as we've had so many wonderful guests on the podcast so far. Dillon, what episode has been your favorite that we've done?
Oh man, that is a tough question. They've all been so good.
Yeah, we love all the people, of course.
Man, that is a tough question. Yeah, they've all been very different conversations, all centered around the same thing, but very different conversations.
For sure. Nothing's been the same, that's for sure. Except for the answer to the last question. What's your favorite thing about working? But
That's true.
For some people, other people did diverge.
They did diverge from the well. I won't say the the answer just yet, but yeah, one person did diverge. Gosh, I think I'm gonna say the episode we recorded at GSMA with Richard. Okay. I enjoyed Richard's story and the many avenues, I guess I'll call it, that he took to get into, where he is from his invention days. Yeah, that's and true. Now, directing sales basically. Yeah. So, what about you?
I don't know. I think I appreciated the history that Mom was able to kind of discuss on her episode, and of course, like it being Mom, it was a more sentimental episode. But I also really enjoyed our conversation with Camille and Landon. Yeah. I feel like that went really in a direction I wasn't thinking it was going to go, but it was really cool, especially about like the mentorship and collaboration, which is what we're trying to.
Which actually, that's funny because you and I were just talking earlier today, and we were talking about how I don't know how we would do it. We don't have like a national registry of the gift industry or the specialty wholesale industry. Yeah. But seriously, if there was some kind of like welcoming committee when a new vendor came onto the scene or a new rep or whatever it was, if there was like a committee of all these different people that all were like, hey, welcome. Yeah. Here's what you need to know. Here's your little cheat sheet. Welcome to the industry.
Yeah, I think so. So, listeners, please let us know what's been your favorite episode. We do want to know what you guys are liking and maybe not liking about our format, our guests, maybe any topics that you want covered or any specific roles that you want to know more about or any questions that you do have because of our past episodes already. Please drop a comment on this episode and we will hopefully address those in the future. We do have a lot more interviews coming up, and
some exciting guests on the horizon.
We have of course, we talk a lot about reps, so we do have a rep interview coming up.
Yes, took a little bit to.
They're probably one of the most busy people in this entire industry, so they're a little bit harder to nail down, but we'll get some on there so you guys can see more day in the life experience what a sales rep is and what they really go through, more so than hearing it from the perspective of people who, yes, a lot of our guests have been sales reps, but that was a long time ago or not very recent. Right. So hearing the more recent perspective will be important for you guys.
Yeah, and I think, and we also have a guest that works at the market centers. That'll be one that's coming up. A couple more sales directors, sales managers. So plenty more on the horizon.
Yeah. And we mentioned earlier, of course, like when Dillon brought up how Richard grew nonlinear. Our guests, some started in retail and some started on the vendor side. Some started in just the show planning. So that would be maybe you're in an event coordinator thing right now.
Some started as a sales rep.
Yeah, some did start as a sales rep. And then just like us and Camille and Landon, we were all born into the industry, but something brought us back around to it because we all did explore different avenues. And here we are. So what is that common thread that has continually brought us all back? Like, why do we all stay in it?
I think the same reason people say they love the industry, and that's the people, or as Richard put it,
his friends.
And I think his maybe it was Mom that mentioned it, but the national family reunion or whatever it is, national family. Yeah.
And then that entrepreneurial spirit too, because we all do continue to just think differently, come up with new ideas, be outside of the box.
Collaborate.
Yeah. All of those things.
Sure.
So, as much as networking is super important in this industry, we've all obviously talked a lot about that. That could also be one of the larger feats for somebody that is listening to this, that you're not in the industry right now. So we hope that these episodes have at least began to allow you to have some icebreaker material for if you do join the industry and maybe you run across paths with any of our guests. This would be a great icebreaker. Oh my God, I saw you on Beyond the Stockroom.
Yeah, that would be.
And I'm sure
circle.
It would be a full get to know you conversation after that, and maybe even, hey, here's my business card, let's set up a meeting.
Yep.
Just to continue and welcome you guys in, because ultimately we do want to make any newbies feel welcome. That is daunting, and from personal experience, I think we can both say that yes, getting to know people within the industry and putting yourself out there is a challenge, but you can see what it does for you moving forward. So
yep. One other thing that's evolved since we originally spoke, I think when we originally spoke, we said we had officially launched our job board. It was available to any listeners that may have checked it out. You may have seen that, yes, there were not any jobs listed at the moment.
Yes.
But just to kind of reinforce the mission behind our association, as we spoke about, and this endeavor that we're doing to reach the broader audience, there are now, I should have checked the actual count. I think there's 10, maybe 12 jobs currently on the 12, job board. Yeah. And all of them, I kid you not, all of them are for sales reps. So that just really reinforces the importance of kind of what we're doing and the light we're shining on, that avenue, that career, and the industry as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about some of those postings right now. You want to?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, cool. So if you are a listener who lives in Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, California, or Nevada, Roadrunners is a company hiring sales reps for all of those locations right now.
And Roadrunners is a multi-line wholesale sales representative agency serving gift, home decor, stationery, apparel, accessories, basically everything you could think of outside of like hardware and tools and stuff. They sell everything else. The company, just like most sales agencies, it's the same thing, right? They represent brands. You would be an independent rep through them that represents those brands and places those brands in retail stores in the geographical areas Delaney mentioned. Yep. Roadrunners also has showrooms in the 3 major markets, Atlanta, Dallas, and Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. Roadrunners emphasizes relationship-driven representation, market expertise, and the shop local, order local movement and support for retailers.
Yep. Spirit Sales, they are looking for sales reps in Minnesota, Nebraska, Iowa, or Indiana. So if you live in one of those places, please go check out Spirit Sales. They're a family-owned independent sales representative group serving resellers and retailers in the Midwest. They're based out of the Chicagoland area, and they specialize in companies in the gift category, new age, metaphysical, music, clothing, jewelry, religious, tobacco, fragrance, novelty, and even other specialty categories. They have been a company since the 1970s and were officially changed from World Spirit Limited to Spirit Sales in 1974, and were previously distributors and have reorganized as a sales rep group in 1992. They also emphasize relationship-driven service, and they push their reps to understand each retailer's store, customers, product mix, rather than just simply pushing products. And the company represents the states I already listed, and then also Illinois, Kansas, Missouri, North and South Dakota, and Wisconsin.
Basically the Midwest.
Yeah, the whole Midwest.
Which is kind of crazy because I know this last one, and I'll take this last one. But so far, we've got West Coast.
Yeah.
Now we're moving in the Midwest.
Yeah.
And now we're moving not quite generic East Coast, but
that is funny.
Northeast.
I didn't realize that.
Actually, it's actually west to east.
Got the whole country hiring right now, almost.
But the last one that currently has positions listed is a company called Just Got to Have It. And like their namesake, basically all of their products you just got to have because they're fantastic. Yep. The positions they have listed are for a hybrid territory that encompasses Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. Now, to those of you like myself who live on the West Coast or Colorado, where I'm not used to the concept of being able to travel between states in a day, any of you that are listening or are familiar with the East Coast, you could do all three of those in like 4 hours probably. Yeah. So, but those three areas in a single territory, they have one that covers Washington and Oregon, and then they have another one that covers parts of Maine and New Hampshire. Yep. Again, all sales rep positions, and just gotta have it is a woman-owned B2B sales agency. They specialize in trend, gift, fashion, lifestyle, home decor, those types of brands. They were founded in 2000 by Barbie Knight. The company acts as a bridge again between the brands and the retailers, helping the stores discover those products that they just got to have. They are primarily based in Atlanta. They do have an additional showroom in Las Vegas.
And they also participate in a temp show called New York Now, which I have not been to, but I hope to go to someday.
I have not. I have just heard the convention center is kind of challenging.
I have heard that, yeah.
But yes, New York Now, they do show at New York Now. So that's a little bit about Just Gotta Have It. And again, if you're interested in any of these positions, I encourage you to go to our website. Again, I know it sounds like a scam. It's not. wholesaletalent.com. Right in the header, right at the menu at the top, there's career opportunities. Click on that and the job board below. And each of these that are listed are on there. And then there's a link to learn more about it. You can read the actual job description requirements, and then there's a form you can apply. And like we tried to touch on in, I think, several of our episodes, each of these companies specifically, two of them for sure, I know the people at. Spirit Sales is a new one to me.
And then they actually know the people at Spirit Sales. So.
Correct, yeah. So it's all part of that network. But again, if you were to apply to one of these, we know directly who that would go to, who would be looking at it. It would not fall into the black hole, the abyss that is other, career-seeking websites, basically.
Yeah, for sure. And as we gear towards summer, we obviously have a lot of interviews on our docket for the summer, but we're also, the entire industry is prepping for summer show season. And we've discussed on our past episodes a lot about how temping is an ability to get you in the door. So if you maybe aren't comfortable totally applying for a sales rep position right now and you want to dip your toe in the water, now is the best time to either shoot us an email that you're interested in temping and where you are located. And then we'll be able to hit up our network and see if we can get you placed in any of the showrooms for summer markets. But if you're local to Las Vegas, Atlanta, or Dallas, you could head to either lasvegasmarket.com, atlantamarket.com, or dallasmarketcenter.com and just Google some of the exhibitors that you can see. You'll get company names from those websites, and then you can Google them to find contact information if you also wanted to contact them yourself.
I recognize that might be time extensive. So
yes.
If that is a challenge, again, don't hesitate to just send us an email. It will take us far less time. And our email is specialtywholesaletalent@gmail.com.
Yeah. So again, if you're a listener who worked retail once and loved it, this is the industry for you. Maybe you felt like you couldn't grow in that retail career, but there's multitudes of opportunities over here and you're still working in the retail sector. Listeners, if you were a young buyer, that our episode with Richard, you were exposed to the puppy mill. of the big box world, this industry is also for you, maybe more so in the independent retailer side of things. They obviously need a lot of assistance, and usually it's an owner buyer hybrid. So I would suggest, if you have a favorite local store that you love shopping at and you do have this type of experience, maybe just have a conversation with them and see if you could get placed there. Otherwise, I think your skills could easily translate over to being a sales rep. So please check out our positions on our job board. And if you also just are a listener who loves the idea of working a position that is helping the local community that you live in, and you're passionate about serving local community endeavors, this also is the industry for you. So please check out our job postings and drop comments about what you want to hear moving forward, any questions that you still have from our episodes, and any roles that you maybe have want more information on. So,
and listeners of ours that are already in the industry and are wanting to get your jobs posted on the job board, there's multiple ways you can go about contacting us if you have more questions. In short, you just need to become a member, but I'll spare you all the details. But if you have any questions, you can use the contact us form. I think that shows up on every page on our website, or again, you can just shoot us an email. Both Delaney and I monitor that email. So
yeah, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for having the exploration of Beyond the Stockroom with us. And we hope to expose more of it to you as we continue this journey. It's been so far super fun.
I feel like there's one, we always end it with a question. We didn't end it with a question. I feel like we need to ask one question, and it can't be the usual question because we've already asked that. So I'm going to make it a hard one.
Okay.
It's hard for me too because I've been sitting here thinking about it. What is the biggest takeaway you've gotten from our interviews to this point?
That's a really good question, Dillon. I think the biggest takeaway so far would be, well, I don't know. I was going to say we're stronger together, but I kind of already knew that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of one that is brand new to me. I think my biggest takeaway is that everybody can, like, how do I put this? We all just came from such different backgrounds, but all have such a similar passion.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure like where that comes from, but
where it ignited and lit
but
that
I
flame
think like that's
going.
A big thing where like people from multitudes of different backgrounds on how they found this industry can become such close friends or colleagues or collaborators, and
like we've known each other for like forever.
Yeah. So I think that's a really cool thing because I previously didn't really know everybody's background. So if you have the weirdest background in the world, like it doesn't matter what you have, come on over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess like because being born in it, I guess I kind of assumed that like historically folks in this industry at least like either worked retail and came over to this side, or maybe just like the more traditional like vendor or retail side and then met in the middle with the rep.
Right.
But I didn't realize people were just finding it out.
Yeah.
Happenstance as much as they were. I know it happens now, but back then I didn't.
Yeah. I think to your point, this is a hard question because like I said, I've been sitting here trying to think about like what my biggest takeaway is, and a lot of it would be a cop out because it's like we already know that. The people, well,
right.
I need that. It grips its claws into you and never lets you go. Like I know people don't leave this, so like that's not a to me. I think the biggest thing for me was when Angela was telling her story of how she came into it. And her husband obviously had the glamorous life, I think, as some look at other sales, right?
Yeah,
he was in pharmaceutical sales. He must have had a company car, expense report, right? All that stuff that you think comes with it. And she mentioned that she had answered an ad in the paper for a sales rep position.
Right.
And, you know, he was like, okay, well, you got to get this, and you got to get this, and you got to get this. Now, I'm assuming she had already found out, wow, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's not pharmaceutical sales.
Yeah.
But it must have just, like, the sales rep position and the freedom that it brings, and just how it's really sales in an entrepreneurial way versus sales for a medical company, or, you know, where you're kind of, you're really just another gear in it.
Right.
It was so attractive, that concept, that even though she didn't have all that he was like, oh, you got to get this. She said, no way, I'm taking this job.
Yeah.
And regardless. Like, to me, and that's unique because you and I mean, you've done ride-alongs with the reps. I never had that opportunity. I never took ride-alongs, and I've never been a sales rep.
Yeah.
So, like, we know of it, but I think, like, to hear that is just, it's such, like, a unique piece to latch onto.
Yeah, it is cool.
Because, you know, I mean, the world has changed, of course, but, like, that's it, and that's what makes this so much different from other sales positions.
Yeah.
So, like, that was just a cool takeaway for me to hear that, because everybody always, like, you hear sales rep, and then you hear independent contractor, and then you instantly go to the, well, does that mean I don't have insurance, and I don't have a 401k, and I don't, it's like, yes, but you get all of these other way better benefits.
Yeah. It's exactly an entrepreneurial position, 100%. So
Angela, I appreciate that little nugget you dropped on that.
Take. Yeah. I think another takeaway would be, like, we've almost, as much as there are generational gaps within our industry, the passion for our customers is what unites us all. And I think that's very beneficial as well. So, I think you can see that through our guests across all the episodes too.
Yeah, we do all have like that common goal, that common passion goal
of helping,
making it awesome for the retailer.
Exactly.
Because I think at the end of the day, also, I think, like Angela and Kelly mentioned, like, if you love shopping, this is kind of like shopping without having to do the shopping, but you get to aid in the shopping, and, like, it's fun. And
like in Richard's episode, we talked about, like, if you are really into trends and you want to drive trends, like,
absolutely,
that's another way. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
The one thing I'll mention, because I didn't get a chance to touch base on it in our Angela and Kelly episode, but the one thing I wanted to say, because Kelly is the VP of Business Development, and so she mentioned how she gets to kind of seek out those new brands and stuff, but how you could think of it as somebody that goes into a store and buys stuff. Like, I might age myself with this, but, like, when we were kids, Beanie Babies were, like, the big thing.
Yeah.
And what people don't realize is Thai is just another company. It's another brand in this ecosystem, right?
Yeah. I know one of their reps.
And, like, you, in Kelly's position of seeking out new brands, like, you're finding potentially even from international markets.
That's true.
You're finding brands that you can bring to your local retailers that other retailers around might not have, and that's a very cool position. And I just don't think, like, people think of business development in so many other ways, I think more so from, like, a corporate side.
Yeah.
And so you don't, like, see it from that angle, and I think I just wanted to touch on, like, how cool that is, and it's a very fun position.
Well, and then you also mentioned overseas. So listeners, also, this industry is global.
There's a German market that I really want to go to.
There is a market in the UK. There's a Maison something in France. I forget. Maison Objet, maybe?
Shop Objet?
Well, Shop Objet,
That's in New York.
Yeah. But no, there's shows that happen all over the place, and they even have another sector down from the wholesale world. They have an entire sourcing world also, and those shows happen in Beijing, Hong Kong, Canton, and Delhi. Yeah. So there's opportunities to also, like, travel the globe in this industry.
It is so vast. Just like we're just we're in just one small piece, and it's just such a.
We're also, I guess, market. Also another thing we haven't really touched on about this industry is, and not every other industry is talking about, is AI. And there are like evolutions of AI popping up. Of course, we're all using programs that every other company is using, ChatGPT, Claude, blah, 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 whatever your company is buying for your purposes. But ultimately, there are companies popping up helping us do our jobs better with the AI they're producing.
Yeah, helping us be more efficient.
If you are even interested in that sort of position in this industry, there's jobs out there for you too. So, like Mr. Tech over here.
Mr. Tech. Well, anyways.
Anywho.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
But
stay tuned for some more interviews with some of our awesome colleagues, and we can't wait to have more convos with some of our friends and bring more knowledge to all of you who are not exposed to this industry about what it's all about before you fully dive into it. We'd love to have you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for listening.
Please comment what you enjoy, what you like to hear. If there's something we barely touched on that you want like a deeper dive on, maybe we'll come up with a segment like where you and I can just meet. We'll come up with a proper segment for these types of interviews between you and I.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's like convo or topics that you want us to do a deep dive on, like just comment, let us know. We appreciate the engagement. And I never say this. I think I said it in our first episode, and everything else we've just said, all right, cool, thanks, see ya. Please, I don't think you can like on other things. If you're on YouTube watching this, like it and subscribe. But if you're listening elsewhere, please just subscribe. It would mean
please subscribe or leave a rating. Yeah, any engagement helps drive the traffic. And those of you in the industry, we do need to drive traffic so that we get attention to the job board. Yep. So thanks so much for listening, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you all.
Curious about any of the opportunities discussed in this episode? Be sure to check out the industry job board at wholesaletalent.com. And thanks for listening to Beyond the Stockroom.